Welcome to Synthaholics. This is your host David Duncan, and with me is.
I'm Brian. Hello, David. How you doing? We're just talking for the first time today. I just logged in. This is where I am.
I love how you're so consistent. Good. How are you doing today, Brian?
Logging in or joining or whatever I'm doing.
Yeah, that.
I'm doing good. We're here. We're talking about Fallout again. Woo!
This is the best thing that's ever graced Brian's eyeballs.
Yeah, we're here to just tell you what David really likes about the show and what I really like about the show too. I like that it's over.
Brian's favorite thing is that he's done with it until season 2.
Yep. All right, David, go ahead. Start us off, man.
All right. I gave the first half not as high a score as I'm going to give the entire series. I'm probably going to give the entire series. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 9. I really liked the show. It was Fallout through and through. Yeah, I don't know if it was because the show was so good or because my expectations from Amazon were so pitifully low after Rings of Power and Wheel of Time. Granted, Wheel of Time season 2 I thought was a better season of television. Whether or not it's still not very true to the books as far as like that goes, but I mean it was at least a more entertaining TV show, so got that going for it, I suppose. But yeah, I've got very low expectations from Amazon. they've made me so disappointed in the past. So the fact that this show is mostly lore accurate, with a couple little nitpicks like we talked about last time, like I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love the Ghoul. He's still my favorite character. And yeah, that's my take on the show. I know Brian's gonna give it probably like a 6, so we have a 69.
Oh boy. Well, one thing I'll say for Amazon, it seems like Amazon either has like a really good show and then it just progressively gets worse, or it just starts off bad and just never goes good. That's what it seems like for Amazon. Anyway, so Fallout TV show, the 2024 version, season 1. Is it a good show? Technically, yes. It does have good acting. It does look okay. It does have a decent story. However, David, Brian's not interested in this story at all. He does not care about any character. It doesn't matter what happens. So, for my rating, I am giving it a 4.
Wow.
Not a 6. I'm just not interested in any of the characters. I thought maybe we would kind of move down for like as I got towards the end of the season. I thought maybe I'd start getting more invested in these characters, but actually the opposite happened. I started caring less about every single character.
Well,
one character, Lucy, was my favorite, but then she just kind of became like, I don't know, just kind of boring. I don't know. I just never was interested. So then I kind of switched over to the Ghoul, because I was more invested into like the Ghoul's like previous life before he was like a Ghoul than anything else. So that's now my favorite character as well. But overall, man, yikes! I don't know, dude. I really don't like Maximus. Lucy has like a really clean face, but like her clothes are dirty the entire time. She is wearing the same clothes, but her face isn't dirty. They also have a blue LED light, which is not lore accurate. Oh,
good,
that's my nitpick. There's blue LEDs, and those weren't possible at that time.
Well, they're in the future. 2070.
Yeah, but they're also like in the past.
Well, they like retro things, but they're not.
Yeah, they don't have. You can't have a blue LED light, man. You said they don't have integrated circuits or anything. They shouldn't have blue LED lights. Anyway, that doesn't matter. That's not a big deal. I just wanted to say that because I knew that would like be like, what?
Yes, I mean, blue LEDs were extremely hard for us to make in our world, even with the integrated circuit. But
somehow Fallout was able to pull it off. How come this show is sometimes like really super advanced and then sometimes it's not super advanced? That's what it feels like.
Oh, I mean, there's also just the video gaminess aspect of it. I mean, in the lore, yeah, they kind of never really invented the integrated circuit. That's why everything kind of is big and it kind of looks like it runs on tubes.
Yeah. It does
But
look like that.
but then you also have like in Fallout 4 you've got, and actually in Fallout 3 you've got Scents, which are like perfect human replicas that are robots. And I'm like, well, how do you do that with that integrated circuit? I don't know. Like, so sometimes the technology in Fallout seems like way far
You just
out.
gotta let it be a. You just gotta let it be a video game.
Yeah,
You gotta
you
just like remove the reality from it.
which is why I partly love Fallout. It doesn't apologize for being a video game. Like, Lucy gets stabbed through the gut, takes the stem pack out, she's fine. Dog meat also gets stabbed near death, stem pack,
Is that
fine.
normally how that happens? Because there was that one guy that got his foot crushed by Max,
Thaddeus.
and he had like a potion or something, and that turned him into a ghoul, I guess.
Well, that's
But he still
interesting.
like the shield.
That's
He was
interesting.
like Wolverine.
Uh, that's not. I mean, sort of. It's sort of technically in the game, but also like, I mean, in the game, your limbs get crippled and like you get really messed up, and you can take like a stem pack and other things, and like you'll be like fine. But what happened to him, I'm. It might be kind of like what happened to Hancock in Fallout 4, because Hancock in Fallout 4 took a drug that made him into a ghoul. Um, that might be what's happening to Thaddeus. Maybe it's FEV, although FEV, you have to be dipped in FEV, the forced human evolutionary virus that turns you into a super mutant. That's typically how it works.
Mm.
I think it'd be fun if he turns into a super mutant. I mean, you can change how FEV works. Instead of dipping someone in it, you can give them a drug to turn into super
So
mutant.
somebody knows. You said before that we don't know how ghouls exist or whatever, but the show somebody knows how ghouls happen because you wouldn't just have a potion for it. Somebody had to make it, right? At
Well,
least that's what.
well, I mean, like the how ghoulification can happen. I think in more than one way, because I know Hancock took a drug to become a ghoul, and regular ghoulification kind of just happens with certain kinds of radiation exposure, I suppose. In the Fallout
Mhm.
universe, they're radiation special,
Radiation
but
special.
it's very special.
It's very special. Yeah. Also, that one guy that had that potions. What was going? Man, that guy just seemed like he was. Every time he was on screen, he seemed like he was like a nervous wreck. Like he didn't know what was like going on. He was like always confused.
He's
I don't know. He's
wondering.
always like
He's wondering if
skittish
people
guy.
are gonna come after him for violating chickens again,
I mean, maybe that could happen.
because he
Was
does
that
have a
was in the
chick.
first, right?
That
I
was
think that was in
the
the
that
first.
was the first or second episode. Yeah, where we find out he's got a chicken fetish.
Is it normal for like humans to be able to live like a super long time? Is that Fallout accurate? Where like there's some of these people like
Normal
the ghouls?
normal humans, no. Ghouls, yes.
Okay.
So
So the
Moldaver, we don't know how she's lived that long. We don't know if she's a clone. I mean, she invented cold fusion, so maybe she also invented cryo sleep, and maybe she like wakes up every 10 years to take a look and see what's going on in the world. I don't know
all right, we
exactly,
don't.
because she's not tied to Voltec, because she's anti Voltec. So
And so I found out that the Vault-Tec was the one dropping the bombs.
mhm.
That was something. They're one of the more evil companies that I've seen in video games before.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Like, Voltec's always been like super
The
evil.
good. I thought they were like the good guys.
No, Voltec's always been
I also
super evil,
don't know anything
but
about
you
Fallout,
also
so
don't play the Fallout games. Yeah, so
yeah.
Voltec, they, like you saw in the last episode. Of course, this is typical full spoilers for anyone. They had all the heads of all the
Whoa,
corporations.
we gotta back up. I don't want to get spoiled.
Oh no. We had the Voltec company with all the other heads of all the other major companies in the Fallout world, all talking about like they could do experiments on the different people in the vaults. That's
Yeah.
a lot of the experiments they're talking about are things that happened in the games. They're referencing stuff in the games, and you can explore some of
Oh,
those
okay.
vaults where those experiments got carried out and like a bunch of bad stuff happened. So yeah, the Vault-Tec's very bad. They have several control vaults, which I guess are for Buds. So Buds are there's probably multiple control vaults.
There's a whole planet like this. Did they drop bombs all over the planet?
Theoretically, we've never seen anywhere outside of United States, because Fallout, and Todd Howard had a recent interview, and he is also saying that they're not going to plan on making any Fallouts. At least Bethesda isn't planning on making any Fallouts outside of the United States, because part of what makes Fallout is that 50s nostalgia Americana setting. I mean, I would love to see a Fallout game outside of Fallout. Fallout London was supposed to come out, but Fallout 4's next gen update patch has destroyed the game. It's not working very well at all. And so
Oh
they need.
no, dude! It's Bethesda. How dare they?
Oh, that, in the interview, Todd Howard also said something about, the reason why we can't snap our fingers and have games out right now is because of we want to have like this giant level of quality in our games. And I'm like,
Oh,
I can't even take you
what they're
seriously,
doing?
Todd. I can't even take you seriously. How you released Starfield, how you released Fallout 76, how you just patched Fallout 4, making it a wreck. Like, Todd,
Sure.
come on. So basically, the people who are making Fallout London, which is a mod I wanted to play because it's finally getting to see what Fallout looks like outside of the United States. That mod
Hmm.
is like was supposed to come out, I think, the same day as the next gen patch, but they didn't get like advance notice from Bethesda and like an advanced build for them to like work around any potential issues. Because every time you update the game, mods break,
Everything.
and this is like a
Yeah.
full overhaul, full length game style mod. So like they're gonna have to go through the R&D testing all over again, basically, to make sure the game still works with the new update. So
It'll come out soon. David, what was your most invested story did you have? Like I said, mine was the ghoul before he was a ghoul. What was yours?
I really like Norm's story of him discovering what's going on with the vault. The ghoul is still my favorite character overall. I like hearing about all the stuff happening before, especially because we got to see that like roundtable meeting and see Mr. House from Robco, who is the guy who runs New Vegas. So it was really nice seeing him.
Oh,
Yeah, Mr. House is the guy that runs New Vegas.
okay.
So I'm like,
Yeah,
ooh, Mr. House. They cast Mr. House. So I think honestly, my take on what's happening is I think Hank is going to New Vegas to try to find Mr. House. I mean, there might be some other vault he wants to go see there.
Hank's Lucy's dad, right?
Huh?
Hank's Lucy's dad, right?
Yeah, Lucy's dad. Paul
Yeah.
Muad'Dib. He's also the original Paul Muad'Dib from the Dune 1984, and he's following in the footsteps of Paul Muad'Dib because he nuked. He freaking nuked Shady Sands in the Fallout
Yeah,
show.
somebody's got to do it.
It was fun.
That's
I've watched the show twice now. It was fun watching the show and seeing like the clues they were building in early on. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Like seeing how it built. You know how the lady said she buried Lucy's mom. She helped Hank blow up Shady Sands. That's her being buried.
yeah.
I'm like, holy crap.
It
Yeah,
seems
that's
like
how she lost her pip boy.
the vault story is going to be like the main, like that's the main thing of the whole series is going to be going through trying to understand what these vaults is. It feels like the ghoul character kind of like he's just like I just want to know because he said at the end what his goal was. He just want to know where his family was. It seems like after that he's not going to be invested. He's like what left does he have? He's already like hundreds of years old.
Yeah. Well,
Just gonna like roam around.
she said to him she's going to go to one of the good vaults, but I don't think she's part of Buds. She's also like a top level executive. She might be in a different vault somewhere. So yeah, that'll be
There's a
interesting.
lot of vaults.
Maybe her daughter. Yeah, there's a lot of vaults.
I did not know. They're gonna go to each one. They're gonna explore each one. There'll be 80 seasons or however many vaults there are.
But what I was saying of Hank going back to New Vegas, I
Yeah.
think he's going to try to find Mr. House, which I mean, there's several
Mhm.
things in this
Theorizing.
show that it's theorizing, but it's also like just kind of common sense based on what happened in the games. So it looks like based on if he's going to see Mr. House only survives the events of Fallout New Vegas if you do his ending, which means the NCR, this guy and the people Moldover are with, and the people who used to be in Shady Sands. That's why the NCR is such a small faction now in the games, because they were kind of weak at the first Battle of Hoover Dam, which takes place before New Vegas. And if Mr. House wins, uh, the events of Fallout New Vegas, which you help as the player, if you do that ending, if you're doing that, then we're looking at a even more weak NCR, and he's also taken out Caesar's Legion. We can also infer that probably the Brotherhood of Steel wins the events of Fallout 4 because we have the airship. We see the airship, the Prid one. It's not called
Mhm.
they never named the airship, but in promotional material it was called the Kesmonon. But someone with a 4K TV got up real close to it and saw the actual
Oh
the
God,
ship. The ship says Pridwin, even though they said it was called the
they lied.
Caspanon in promotional materials, but they never named it in the show. So we'll have to see what happens in season 2 if they actually decide to name the airship.
They can name it whatever they want. What do you think about Maximus? Because it seems like in the first four episodes that we did, or first part, he was like not in favor of, he was not, nobody really, I would imagine nobody really liked him. I don't know, but I would imagine nobody liked him that watched him. Then he seemed like he had a little bit of a redemption arc where he's like more likable because he's hanging out with Lucy, and Lucy's like the like Mary Sue of the, not the Mary Sue, but like the happy go lucky character.
The goody two shoes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Do you
Yeah,
has your feelings on Maximus changed at all?
I still don't like him. I don't
Okay.
trust him, and it's just like the guy who plays him. He's a good actor because he comes off like the Brotherhood of Steel is a technology cult, and he comes off as like a weird guy who's been in a cult his entire life who doesn't quite know how to act. And the fact that
Well,
when
he was.
yeah, when the fact that like they're in they're in the decontamination trying to go into that vault, and Lucy's like, "You want to have sex?" And he's like, "What? That thing?" And
What's that? I don't understand.
he's like that happens to some people, but
Not me.
because a lot of times in cults, like they kind of like discourage sex, except for the cult leader. So like the old guy, he's
Well,
getting some, but nobody else.
well, it's just like brainwashing. But it seems like I
Yeah.
don't know if he's. I don't know if it's that I wouldn't trust him. I think he just doesn't really know what's going on. He's just going with the flow.
But he's also just the way he delivers lines. He's really off-putting, which I think is just a really good acting
Oh,
choice
he's got
for him.
like a he's got like that dead face. He's
And
just
like,
like
yeah,
I don't know what I don't know what you mean.
well,
So
yeah,
like
it just it's he seems guilty every time he talks. Like he's like
I know, right?
he's giving like a really guilty vibe. Like every time he's being questioned by someone in authority, he seems super guilty for whatever anyone's accusing him of. So it's
He might not even have anything to do with it, but he's guilty somehow.
that's the thing. I don't know. Maybe he is. It's I don't trust him because of that guilt he seems to exude whenever he's
I don't
talking.
think he's guilty of very much because in the beginning of the show he's still like he's a brand new character and he's not like high level in the Brotherhood of Steel or anything. He's just kind of like a guy trying to make it. Unless he's doing stuff off screen that we don't see or I don't know that I missed. I don't know. You watched the show twice. So did you see anything weird?
Well, no, I mean, I didn't see anything all that weird or off-putting specifically. It's just the way he talks. He just comes off as untrustworthy. So he gives me a bad vibe. Which I mean, he's doing a good job. He's a good actor for doing that.
Yeah.
And then also in the vault, he's like kind of happy and he's kind of dropping that. Maybe things will be
He's just
okay.
hanging back, eating like
He's had a
cereal and
warm
has
shower
a
instead
boat.
of a cold shower, so he's ready to have his thing pop. The intercourse
Yeah.
now? Intercourse now? And she's like, no.
What's it? He didn't even know what a cold shower or a warm shower was. Like, you can
Yeah.
have a nice warm shower. He's like, what's that? I don't know what that is.
What is that? I don't know. Yeah, it was good. We've got some interesting, threads for season 2. What is Hank actually going to do? Is he going to see Mr. House? They already cast him, so let's hope we see that.
But I
Hopefully,
keep
we'll
going.
find out more about Moldaver because I want to know how she has made it 200 years in the future. Apparently, Moldaver and Lucy's mom liked getting it on because
Was that actually Lucy's mom? That was like that big skeleton thing, or
that's
do you think that was
that.
just?
Yeah, I
How
mean,
was she alive?
she's like just super Gould. Like she's probably a feral.
Oh, that's like it's like a super ghoul.
Well, just super feral. Yeah, it's just she just got super radiated and just like it's just still alive. I think she was like stuck to the chair.
Oh, really?
I think Moldaver kept her around because like they were lovers or something, I'm guessing. That's what it seemed like to me.
It didn't seem like he was having a very good life.
Yeah. Um
Maybe I'll heal her someday.
Well, I mean, she had, yeah, maybe she was looking for trying to get the fusion to find a cure, find a doctor who can find a cure with unlimited power. Who knows?
What? Why is the ghoul searching for his family? Maybe his wouldn't his family just be like super dead? Oh, I guess they'll do a they're not dead thing, but I would seem like in
Well,
the real life ghoul
Voltec has the
part,
cryotechnology, so maybe she's been asleep.
I thought she was like she's gonna like turn into a bad guy, but I guess she didn't.
Well, she totally turned into a bad guy.
I know that's what I'm saying. I don't know why he's still why is he does he want to kill her? Like I don't understand what he wants.
Oh,
Well, I guess that's the whole point of the
maybe
character.
he wants to kill her and take his daughter back. You know, raise his daughter to
I don't know.
become an amazing bounty
A
hunter.
ghoul.
Teach her how to become a ghoul so she can live forever with him. I don't know. Um,
You can
I don't
take
know. Like,
potions.
yeah, I love how the show made Voltec's always been like a kind of a covert bad guy. Like, they're bad, but they've never been like a major faction in the games, and I like how they've become like a major faction for the show. So I'm excited to see how that turns out. I'm hoping to see super mutants. I'm hoping to see Cazadors since they're going to New Vegas.
A
Cazadors are really,
Cazador.
they're bugs, but they're really big bugs and they hurt a lot. They were like some of my least favorite bad guys to fight because they were small, fast, and they were deadly.
Well, maybe they'll be in the vault because oh gosh, big nose guy. I can't think of what his name is. Whatever that guy's
Norm,
the big nose guy. Yeah, Norm. They said that robot in there just said that sometimes there's big bugs. That's probably not the same thing
he
though,
was
huh?
probably talking about the rad roaches because rad roaches do get into the really
Oh,
big roaches.
okay.
Yeah, they get into vaults sometimes.
Did he go to sleep? Did they show that? I don't think they showed that, right?
They implied he was going in to go to sleep. I don't think they didn't show him get into the pod though.
I don't know if it would be a good idea for that character to go to sleep because it feels like once he goes to sleep, he already doesn't know anything, and then he's just gonna go to sleep, and then he's gonna wake up and still not know anything.
I wonder if he's gonna kill Norm. I mean, Bud, kill the little brain in the Roomba.
Yeah, is that an important character? I don't know. Understand what that thing was doing. It was just kind of like there.
That's Bud.
Oh, that's Bud.
That's Bud, and
Oh
he's taking
man.
care of his buds inside the vault. Yeah, that's Bud.
Okay, okay. I was
Yeah,
wondering what you were saying. When you were that. Okay,
yeah. That's him.
gotcha.
And it's cool because there's also robots in the game that are like bigger robots that have like guns and stuff on them that have like the little brains that they're called Robo Brains. So like
Robot brains.
hopefully we'll see more Robo Brains going forward that are more deadly. There's multiple kinds of robots.
I was hoping to see the butler guy again, the butler robot.
Oh,
Never got to see another one of
another
them.
Mr. Handy. Yeah, hopefully we'll see more Mr.
Yeah,
Handys. I mean, I would love to see
I
them.
want to see more of
They
those.
have military versions of Mr. Handy, so they've got ones with like
Oh
flamethrowers
no,
built onto them and guns. Yeah, they have mean Mr. Handys.
no, we want nice ones that only harvest the organs.
No, I'm not going to send you to sex labor. I'm simply going to harvest your organs.
I like that guy.
I like seeing the guy who the actor who plays Mr. Handy, and then like he's like, oh my god, I've got a robot that's got my voice in my house that asks me if I want to sit down. No.
Do you want to sit down? Yeah, I like that character at least. What about the when they're going to different vaults? I'm still confused of what was going on with sending people to different vaults and making a new overseer and all that stuff. I don't really know what's going on there, but it seemed like some people are happy about it and some people are not happy about it.
Well, some people they just didn't want to move from their home, and also, um,
But why are they even going in the first place? What I don't understand. Why did they need to do that?
well, because they're looks like Vault 31, 32, and 33 are small vaults, especially 31 because all it is a cryo chamber and like a room.
Yeah, it's just
Like since they're three interconnected vaults, they're all on the smaller side. So I'm guessing they're just trying to they want to use the space. Also, the water chip.
well, that space is just all empty as far as we know. They're just moving.
Yeah, they're just spreading out so they can populate more
Why don't they
people.
just
And
leave the door? Why don't they just leave the door open? Isn't it all underground anyway?
it is all underground, but the point is for them to work independently until they need to do a trade. And I think at the first episode they do like quarterly trades or something like that if they need something. It's because they're supposed to work independently of each other.
To make their own. Well, they said at the round table you could just like create your own like civilization or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's it has something to do with the experiment. They're trying to continue the experiment from that. Well, like we still never got a clear reason on why the people in Vault 32 all killed each other. I thought that was,
I
but it's very
I guess
Fallout.
that never was.
It is very Fallout for the Vault inhabitants to turn against each other, kill each other, because there's multiple vaults like that. There's one vault where like everyone was everyone there's all women except for one man, and then there's another vault that was kind of its companion vault that was the opposite.
Really? This is like doing as many different like variations as you possibly
Oh
can
yeah,
just
there's
to
all
see
sorts
what.
of variations, but I mean the one with only one woman and all men, that I'm sure they all kill each other there. And like the way to like to keep the human like race alive in that vault, that would be like tough.
I don't think you could. You
But the
probably couldn't do it.
one man and all the rest of them being women, there's enough genetic viability there. At
Well,
least they,
yeah, but you that would have a higher chance because like you
you
need like 9 months to just for one person.
yeah. So I mean, that's.
And
But
how many can
what
like
if the guy was
one
sterile?
person?
What if the guy was sterile? Then they just all gonna die out. And that
That could happen. That
I don't.
maybe I don't know.
It wasn't a successful vault. I don't remember what the lore said in it, but I just remember it was one of the vaults.
One of the vaults was like that. So yeah, that's Fallout, man. That's
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't
I
have
don't know.
much to say about it more than just I'm trying to get clarification on stuff.
Yeah,
As
yeah,
normal.
yeah,
That's normally how it is. Trying to figure out names is the big trouble for me.
yeah. Thaddeus. Hopefully, he's either a ghoul or super mutant, or maybe something completely new. We will have
I
to
don't
find
care
out next
about
season.
Thaddeus. You care about Thaddeus? I didn't even like that guy is just like to me he's dead. Like that's fine.
Well,
I don't
well,
he
I don't.
doesn't have any story or anything.
Well, his story is going to be whatever that thing they gave to him, like what he's turning into. Like that'll be his
He's turned
story.
into a ghoul. They already said he was
But
a
maybe
ghoul.
it's well. Maximus thinks he's a ghoul. Maybe he's not a ghoul.
Oh, okay.
Maybe he's just turning into a super mutant. Maybe he's turning into something else. Like we don't know. Like something new. Like who knows? Like I'm interested to see what might be happening with him. I also thought it was pretty funny how the guy who exclusively played violin music was the Portlandia guy. Of course, it was the
The
Portlandia guy. The guy
wait, what
who
episode was it?
radio station guy.
Oh, he's like that's Fred Armisen. He's
Yeah,
from
Portlandia.
SNL and stuff. Yeah, Portlandia. He's also in that too.
Yeah, I'm like, oh,
It
he's
was
from
weird
Port.
they had him. I did not see. I wouldn't expect him to be in a show like that. He's just like a comedian.
Oh, yeah, and he's just like, man, that the violin music's so good. It's got all these great mids.
It's right there. You just heard it. It was right there.
Yeah, it was great. And it's like there's a radio station in Fallout 4 that's pretty much just violin music too. So it's like great. There's lots of like callbacks to the game. The water chip being broken after like when they mention it toward the end of the first episode. That's basically why the first Fallout game happens. The water chip breaks, and your job is to go out and find the new water chip.
Well, that, yeah, that's it.
That's Fallout 1. Lots of nods to the other Fallout games. Like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed the show. I mean Brian's not a big enough sample size.
I'm super glad. No, it doesn't matter. I don't care so much about whether I enjoy it or not because we already know that you already know at least that like I'm already not a fan of Bethesda. I already don't like Fallout. So like the show was gonna be, probably not gonna work out for me, which is fine because it's a good show for the people that actually like Fallout, and I think that's the most important part of the show.
Well, from my
That's my
point of
take.
view, is that it's also like it's been relatively successful. It's been
Yeah, I'm
like
glad.
it's
That's
getting good
good.
reviews. I think it's like second most viewed Amazon show behind somehow Rings of Power. Well, Rings of Power had views because people wanted to see Lord of the Rings.
Really? Most viewed, it's number two? I don't believe that. There's no way.
I
There's no way it's number two.
I think it's one of the highest rated Amazon shows as
Oh,
far as
highest
like
rated. Wait, highest rated or
and
most viewed?
I think the second highest viewed.
I'd be surprised about that one.
I love Fall. I mean, I hope it's true. I mean, I don't know. I remember reading that somewhere, but I hope it's true. I mean, I'm glad it seems to be pulling in new fans, and it is pulling in new fans because the video games are also spiking. Like Fallout 76 has like never had this many people playing, and the other games are
Yeah,
getting downloaded too. Their Fallout games are at least up across the board. It's just sad
which
that
is good.
Bethesda doesn't seem interested in partnering with any other studios to get out any spin-off Fallouts out like New Vegas, because it was by
It
far my
seems like
favorite
they
one.
were. It seems like they weren't like prepped for this like at all. Like
No,
a show just was happening. Like a lot of times when like a show comes out, there's something that's gonna come along like next to it. But this Fallout show just seemed to like just come out and then like Bethesda was just like, oh yeah, we were doing that.
here's
We
the
have
next
nothing
gen.
prepped for
Here's
anything.
here's the next gen update, and it doesn't work. Have fun with
They
the
just probably pushed it out
broken
to
game.
just try to get like something out.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
when
I think it'd be. Go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say that with the game, whenever they announced the next gen Fallout update like ages ago, and when said it was going to come out in 2023, and when it didn't, I just figured it was going to come out in
At
conjunction
some
with a
point.
Fallout show. And the fact that it was supposed to come out last year, and we're now 5 months into this year, and it still launched as broken as it did, I'm just like, what are you doing, Bethesda? Why is it so
Yeah.
hard to patch your games?
I don't understand why there's still love for the studio. I just don't get it. Like they made like 3 good games 20 years ago, and people are just like, well, "I'm holding on to that. I'm gonna hold on to that."
I
I don't know.
mean, I enjoyed Skyrim was the first Elder Scrolls game I enjoyed. I loved Fallout 3. I enjoyed Fallout 4. It was a really good sandbox. But Fallout New Vegas was my favorite one, and that was, of course, made by Obsidian. And Fallout 76 was a complete disappointment. Starfield was also a massive disappointment, and I have just
Todd Howard does
I have no
he's
hope.
he's just a face now.
I have
He's just a
no
PR
hope.
guy.
Yeah, I have no hope that a new Fallout game will be any good unless it's made by a different company. Honestly, so
I think Microsoft's gonna make them.
I hope
I think
so.
Microsoft's
I
gonna make
hope
them do it.
Microsoft forces their hand to let someone else make a Fallout game, because
They don't. They don't have to force their hand. They could just say like, "We're putting Fallout with this studio." They have no control over it. They own Bethesda. They can
yeah,
just do whatever they want. They could shut it
I
down if
hope
they want.
I hope so. I hope Bethesda gets shut down. They don't. They have no quality.
Okay, I don't hope they get shut down. There's a lot of people that work there, and I don't want a bunch of people to
Well, no,
just
I mean,
lose their jobs.
I know, but I mean, I want them. I want them to be spread out through Microsoft and put on teams that are underneath competent leadership, because I don't know what takes Bethesda's
I can
games
get
to.
behind that. I don't think they have good leadership at that company at
I,
all.
I think the leadership of Bethesda is just abysmal, because it takes them too long to put out a mid game with okay, like very mid content, very mid everything. It's so bizarre. Like it takes
Yeah,
them so long, and like I have my gripes about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but like it is a massive game. It's easily has as much like square footage or more than any of Bethesda's games before Fallout, and the level of polish and how good it looks is head and shoulders above. Granted, there's a bajillion mini games which I don't care about, but but
yeah, but they still
there's
had to
tons of
develop. They
content.
still had to create all that stuff.
They still have to they created all that stuff, and they did it in like 4 years. And it takes Bethesda like
Yeah,
10 years to put out a game that's just like Starfield was like everything's copy, like all the points of interest are copy pasted and randomly
they had to
random
create
generated.
that. They had to create the copy paste function to make this work.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it's just absolutely baffling. Yeah, I have no love for Bethesda as a studio anymore. I'm not excited for Elder Scrolls, and I do want to play another Fallout game, but I just don't trust it'll be any good under Bethesda.
Obsidian's gonna get it. They'll get it.
I hope so. I hope so. But like not many of the
Because
original Obsidian
they're just about done with Avowed. And then what are they working on after Avowed? We don't know. Could be a
maybe.
Fallout game.
I hope so. I really hope so.
Granted,
But
the same people probably don't work at that studio anymore that worked on
Yeah,
New Vegas or anything.
that's the
But
problem. You know, it still has a chance of being bad without some of those original people. But uh,
I still would prefer to see another studio do it though, because then maybe I'll like the game.
I hope so. I hope you find a Fallout game you like because I love the
Have
universe.
Larian do it.
Have
But
Larian do it.
Larian do Fallout. Make
Do
it a top
Fallout
down like the first Fallout game.
like Wasteland.
Or not. Yeah, I mean they won't, but like that'd be that. I don't know if I would want them to do it because I don't want them in case I don't like it. I don't want them to like waste all these years making a game I might not like. I'd rather give it to another studio that like I want Larian to just do what Larian wants.
Yeah. What if they want to do
Yeah,
Fallout? They're not going to be able to
they
because
don't.
they're not going to
They're
do
already
Fallout.
working on two different IPs. They're working on two new IPs right now.
Very good.
So
Anyway,
yeah,
well,
that's Fallout.
that's Fallout, and I don't know what we're doing next week because Brian hasn't decided yet.
Oh, I got to decide. Okay, we'll
Uh,
figure it out next time.
Oh, I asked you like a week ago.
Yeah, but I don't put a lot. I don't just kind of like, you know, whatever we. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure. I mean, we don't. They don't need to know any of the people listening. Don't. They never know what's coming up next anyway.
Well, they knew we were talking about Fallout Part 2 next.
We're gonna do Fallout Part 2 again.
Yeah, that's next. We'll recap it again.
We're gonna recap our podcast.
There you go.
Oh man, email David at synthaholics@yahoo.com.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to get to that. All right, guys.
I didn't. I just thought like, you know what? You stole it from me last week.
Yep, I did.
I'll take it back.
All right, guys. Well, until next time, I've been David.
I've been Brian.
Well, that's good.
This time. Next time I'm not.
Well, that's good. Anyway, till next time, guys.